Hello, hello, and welcome everybody. JB here with JB's RCs. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. If you've been here before, you know the drill. We've got a great run-in video for you today. If it's your first time here, hope you like some run-in videos. So this is my LCG, and if you haven't been able to tell by the crazy sound already, it's got an outrunner brushless in it. I've been thinking about trying the Silent Assassin or the Holmes Hobbies Silent Runner. I actually just saw that Holmes Hobbies has a V2, Crawlmaster V2. So I'm not sure what that's all about. I think somebody just said it's basically a no soldering situation. It comes with a plug and all that already. So I'm not sure. I never had the V1, so I don't know what the differences are. But supposedly those are the silent runners for the outrunners. And I do love the outrunner. It's so precise. But a lot of people have been telling me they've just been running the Fusions, the 2-in-1s that Spectrum and Hobbywing have out right now. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, I didn't enter into the comp with this because, well, I've never done a comp before, and I'm pretty nervous, and I don't really know even what class I would run with this. But as of right now, we're at Cotton's RC Village and Adventure, and they had a G6 contest. So, I mean, pretty much a run what you brung kind of thing, and they had this course set up. So I was like, you know what, the competition's done, but the course is still there. Let's give it a try. And I was very impressed. I might actually try to enter into a competition next time or two. I know scale points matter a lot, and I don't have a ton of knowledge about what is scale points, what can be used. So I guess I'll just enter and see how I do, and then we'll go for next time maybe adding some more scale points to try to get a little higher up in the ranks. But this truck was really impressive. Since the last video, I think I just changed the wheels and tires. So I put some Treel 1.9 metal B-box on there, and then we got the J Concepts, the holds. Those are the 475 size, 1.9 rim size. We're using stock foams in there. And then the last video, I had some deep dish wagons on there with some tires, J Concept Scorpios, and it gave it a nice wide stance, but I put these on. These weren't the deep dish, so it wasn't so wide. So I left the rear end the way it is, but I added a little 5mm brass spacer up on the front axle to give it just a little more width up there. And really, I mean, this thing is all over. Now, granted, this is a pretty long course, and like I said, it was for G6, so they did make it pretty difficult. So I did have, I think, 2 gates that I hit, which I guess is really good. But I had 3 repos where I had to either flipped it, which you'll see at the end, which is kind of my fault. I was just going a little quick. I was getting to the end, and I know for a competition I'd probably go a little bit slower, a little more tender, but I was just trying it out for fun. And then there's 2 spots. You'll see one coming up here where I get wedged real good and I have to get it out. And then another one near the end where it's really tough spots. Both of them that I go. 2 of them are back to back basically. It's a down and then a turning it up. It's actually in that back pile that you see right there in the background. Now we're gonna come over. We're gonna hit that, and there's a real tight, narrow spot where the truck's real sideways, and it pinches it down in there, and I got it pinched real good, and I didn't want to snap anything, so I just picked it up and moved it. And then the next one is a hill. I later found out that with my truck, the way it's set up, I probably should have ran a different line on that. When we get there, I'll explain it just a little bit more, but up until now, basically, I have not hit I think I hit 1 gate, and I haven't had any repos, and I'm a little more than halfway through the course right now. So I was very impressed. Yeah, right here's the pinch spot coming up. So it's gonna like drop down. The left side's gonna drop down, and you'll see the gates. Then they had it so you really had to drop down in somehow. Either right or left side had to go down in, and it just falls down in there, and then it gets real pinched. Yeah, see the fade. Oh yeah, I was trying so hard, and then as I got to that point, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fix it now. So yeah, then we're gonna bust it up, and then this spot. So I go to the left, you'll see here, but I guess for my truck, I should have stayed real close to this right line, the ball on the right there, and climbed up that right side rock instead of trying to go to this left side. I later tried, and it made it up there, no problem. So I just have to pick my lines a little better. When I was watching, I saw people taking this line a lot, and again, this spot right here was a tough spot. I did fast forward a little bit through here because this is a lot of, again, here I go, repo. So there's my 2 repos here. We're back to back, and I started to get disappointed for a second. I was like, wait, you did so good first half. Now we got a repo twice right in the middle here. And then from here on out, I really crushed it. And there's one spot right before the end where it rolls on me, and that's my fault. I was kind of at a weird angle too with the camera, and again with recording, I'm trying to focus on recording too. And you know, when I actually run a comp, I won't have a camera because I'll be focused on it. Yeah, right up on that. That was a tough spot for a lot of people. Really grounded out there. Nice that I have a lot of forward weight on this, so just pulled that front end right over. You know, steep down here. Next couple gates are pretty simple, or at least were for this truck. So very happy again with the performance of this thing. I got this built already. The guy I got it from, it's got brass front weight. It's got a metal front axle. I think it's a Treel metal front axle on there. Still stock shocks and links, I believe. I'm not sure if he changed any of the settings on any of those or what oil he put in the shocks when he built them. But I have changed the tires a little bit. It's running Copperhead, Castle Copperhead ESC, which he has programmed beautifully, this gentleman that I got this from. I haven't messed with that at all. It's spot on. And then it's a Holmes Hobbies revolver, but it says it's a classic revolver, so it's a long case on it, not a short one, and it's a 1950 kV, which is an odd kV, I think, but that's what it is. So that's the motor. My servo, I'm running a cheapy but awesome 45 kg full metal waterproof servo, and I'm running it on, I think it's 7.4 volts. I'm pretty sure the gentleman told me he turned it down a bit so I wouldn't burn out my servos. And I guess it can go up to 8.4 with these Castle ESCs, so I got to get in there and mess with that, because my servo was flaming hot, like burned my finger. Yeah, right here. I just wasn't paying attention and got it up on its side. So that was one I count, obviously, because it was, but if I was down on this angle, so I could see, and there's my second gate that I touched right there. So 2 gates, 3 repos, of course of reverses and stuff, but I'm guessing, or I guess from what I understand, at least up until now, they're not counting reverses, so I don't know what that's all about. But the steering on this thing's ridiculous. The balance on it, phenomenal. It's so forward weight heavy. It's awesome. And then it's got a 40% underdrive on the rear. Don't know if you guys have noticed that yet, but the front end is just pulling it all the time. Just wants to pull it up over stuff, wants to grip in and poke into things. That's fantastic. And of course, with competitions, I guess you can use a winch as well. So I do have a winch on there. It came with it. It's an NSDRC. It's a micro 100 or 200. It's a real small guy. But it does the trick because the truck isn't insanely heavy. Again, 60% of the weight's in the front. And with that 40% underdrive on the rear, those front tires are just pulling it all over the place. So the fact that it has this great steering and that servo, everybody's always talking about these expensive, $140 Reef servos, and this little guy was like $40 or $50, and again 45 kg, super quiet, super fast. I'll try to get the link in the video for this one, just because I get a lot of people asking about, why don't I use the real popular expensive servos, because they're supposedly the best. But I really had no problems with the cheapy ones that I bought. I honestly, I had a Spectre, I can't remember what it was. It was on my Wraith. As far as RTR servos go, that was one of the first ones I ever broke, was on my Wraith. Now again, it's running 2.2s and they're squishy and all that, but it was I want to say it was Spectrum. Does Spectrum make servos? Anyways, it was a big name brand servo that was on there, on the Axial Wraith. If anybody knows, and it broke. It was one of the first RTR trucks that I ever had that broke a servo, and I have other ones that, Red Cat is using hex flies, and they're fantastic, super cheap. I go on Amazon and get their cheapy ones all the time. There's 35 kgs, 25 kgs, 45 kgs. You can get, I think there's even a 60 kg one now. That's a little cheapy one. There's it's like 9i Mod or some weird name, Eventually, I'm sure I'll get into the better ones, but even in 4 years, in 3 of those pretty much full-on crawling, the cheapy ones seem to work for me. I do like a little bit more expensive motors and tires. I'm a huge tire guy. If you guys haven't noticed, I got different wheels and tires on all my rigs, and so many extra sets laying around that I can swap out on different rigs. And I got a ton for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and like a whole tub full on Facebook Marketplace. I must have 12 sets of wheels that I'm just selling. Most of them are the RTRs off of most of my trucks, because I do upgrade wheels as one of my very first upgrades, wheels and tires. So I think it should be the first upgrade for anybody, unless you got something real great already on there, which most RTRs don't come with, especially for a wheel. Almost every RTR, I think every RTR comes with plastic wheels. So you got plastic glued wheels or plastic beadlock wheels. So again, metal just makes things a little heavier, a little more sturdy. You know, I'm probably going to break a pin or a hex before I'm breaking a rim. And of course, beadlocks. You always want the beadlocks. I hate the glued stuff. I like a beadlock because then I can change rims and tires, which is always nice. Switch it up again, you know. If I don't like that rim, the way it looks with that tire, but I like the way that rim looks on the truck, then I'll just change the tire to fit the truck better. So, hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. It's almost over. I just did some random crawling after that first little comp area. Oh, and I did have a couple actually walk up to me after I pulled that comp line and were like, hey, why weren't you in the comp? You just did that really good. We were watching everybody else, and we were very surprised how good you did, and started asking me a bunch of questions about my truck. I think they were thinking about sort of copying the build a little bit, and I didn't know so much because I didn't build it, so. All right, get out there and have some fun.